It's a cold, windswept, rainy day early in 2014. These fields are empty now, but 100 years ago, this was the epicenter of World War I. The two trenches were just 60 yards apart at points around here, and it was just a butcher's yard. But at Christmas 1914, something extraordinary began to happen right here. The day dawned as a crisp, white, beautiful day, and a distinct lack of gunfire. And the British troops saw, just across the way, they saw little lights appearing on the German trenches. They didn't know what they were. They suspected some kind of trickery. But actually, they began to realise that it was the Germans decorating their trenches with Christmas lights. And then they began to hear singing coming from the trenches. They heard the words ringing out across no man's land: Stille Nacht, Heilige Nacht, Silent Night, Holy Night. And the British began to respond in kind by singing back to them. Soldiers began to come out of the trenches and to move slowly towards the centre ground. They began to shake hands and began to exchange photographs of their families, began to exchange cigarettes, began to exchange presents they'd been sent from home, and began to talk together. And then they began to play the universal game, united in just games of football, kind of scrums really. There were maybe 100 aside, they weren't particularly organised, but many kind of incidents of the guys playing football emerged right here in this field. And this is marked of course now as the Christmas Truce of 1914, an absolutely amazing moment when goodwill and peace on earth broke out in the midst of the most violent, brutal, awful conflict.